Shadow Minister for Communications and Broadband, Malcolm Turnbull, was on the Sunshine Coast today. Mr Turnbull and LNP candidate for Fairfax, Ted O'Brien, met Coolum business owners to discuss the impact of slow broadband speeds on industry growth in the region. With a federal election scheduled for September, the businesses were keen to hear how the Coalition would address their concerns and Coalition plans for the ongoing rollout of the National Broadband Network.
In Queensland, South Australia and Northern Territory, after 19 months of construction, there is not one premise that is capable of getting an active connection. So as a construction job, it is not going very well. Okay? The second thing I'd say about it is that the way they are going about it is both the most expensive possible way you could do it and the most time-consuming. They have decided to build a fibre to the premises network to 93% of all Australian premises, businesses and residential. Now, you can imagine that this site here should have fibre coming straight into it, and I can assure you, if we get into government, it will have. Of course it should. It makes perfect sense. But do you need to run fibre into every cottage and every home unit and every townhouse in Australia? And the answer is you do not. But that is what is going to chew up all of the time, or a huge amount of the time, and a huge amount of the money. The other baffling thing they have done is that they have not prioritised areas of greatest need first. It's not being run on, you couldn't possibly describe it as being run on commercial lines, but if you're embarking on a project like that, you'd say, well, we'll go to the areas that are neediest, whether they are business centres like this that are struggling to stay in business because they don't have good enough bandwidth, or whether they are residential areas where, for various reasons, there is no broadband at all. But they're not targeting the most underserved areas as a matter of priority, and in fact they are in different parts of the country using the NBN or building the NBN and overbuilding areas, for example, that have got very high-speed broadband already, like they might. If you want to think about how we'll go about it, just ask yourself how a rational business person with a commercial background would attack this, and you'd say, okay, what is the objective? Making sure that everybody's got very fast broadband. We want to do it as soon and at least cost, as cost effectively as possible. The NBN claims they'll have finished the build by 2021. I don't know anyone in the business that believes that. People are saying to us it's more likely to take 20 years to complete on the current trajectory. Well, that's 20 years as an eternity in technology.